Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading. We are going back in time, back to September and back to New York, to the moment that Harry and Meghan were seen coming out of the United Nations building looking rather upset. A swift exit, a speedy exit, and perhaps even someone's shoe print on the rear end of one of the Harkles, at least one of the Harkles. And of course there has been talk ever since that they were secretly filming their trip to New York. Harry was seen wearing a wire, and I think, as far as I can recall, it was at the school in Harlem. I think that's where he was caught. Photographer caught the wire appearing from the top of his trousers. And Meghan at the United Nations meeting was seen with what looked like a lapel mic in that awful camel-coloured coat. So I want to look, several of you have asked me to do this, so I'm going to be looking to see what happened. Were they secretly filming for Netflix? Were they rumbled? Were they asked to leave? And how is it all going to go in the end with that Netflix deal? I'm going to be doing just a very simple Celtic cross today using my old familiar Rider-Waite tarot. Nothing fancy. I don't think we need anything strange and different for this reading, and hopefully the cards will tell us the tale of what happened that September day in New York, when Meghan looked like she was on the verge of tears and Prince Harry looked pretty unhappy too. And underlying energy of this reading is the Four of Wands in reverse, and that is the unhappy home card. So definitely the energy that they took away from them from this event was very disappointed. And it's also the card of structures that are unstable, that collapse, and it definitely not a cause for celebration with that card. It's the celebration card, and very much as if their attempt at being important at a very serious organization, a very serious foundation, it did not go the way that they had hoped it was going to go. They didn't get to meet the big cheese, and they were shooed out, quite literally, I think. As I said at the start of this reading, they were shooed out within 30 minutes. So not their finest moment. So let's see. I'm doing this as a past reading. So what was the heart of the matter back then? What was the situation back then? And we get the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and that is very often for me the Prince Harry card, because it's the earth sign prince, the Knight of Pentacles, coming with his pentacle, but really not being very well received, with the pentacle in reverse there. It's, instead of making slow and steady progress and being responsible and reliable, it's the opposite. It's making no progress at all. Journey not started, mission not accomplished, and I'm getting the energy of this card very oddly in this reading, feeling a bit of a fool. I would almost expect to see the Fool in reverse around here in this reading, but a sheepish energy with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, awkward energy, not all you're cracked up to be. You're supposed to be a prince, you're supposed to be a duke, and there you are, sneaking into the United Nations with your clipboard, with your silly laptop with, was it Archie's dad or somebody's dad on it? It was very silly, very childish, and secretly filming. Nothing honourable about it at all. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Very much Prince Harry's energy coming off this as being awkward, embarrassed, and really very far from dignified in what he was doing. So the challenge for the pair as they tried to sneak into the United Nations and film for Netflix, it's almost beggars belief, really. The Seven of Wands in reverse, and the Seven of Wands in reverse is actually doing something that's indefensible. When it's in the upright, the Seven of Wands, you're on high ground, you're defending yourself against attack, as you can see from this card, pushing back against people who are attacking you, defending yourself vigorously against attack. When the card is in reverse, you know that what you are doing is indefensible. You are vulnerable to attack and very exposed, and really not maintaining the high ground, not taking the high road, you're taking the low road. So everything about this energy is telling me that what they were doing was really underhand, really very undignified, very unethical. My opinion, of course, let's throw the disclaimer in right now. My opinion, tarot reading just for entertainment purposes, in my opinion. What they were doing was unethical, indefensible, and at least Prince Harry knew it. Whether Meghan Markle knew it or not is a different story. She hasn't showed up in this reading yet, except in this underlying energy. There they are, the two of them, very unhappy. So, hidden energy in this reading. Really, what was going on? Were they really secretly filming, trying to get away with it at the United Nations? And I'm getting the Nine of Pentacles in reverse here. So whatever they were up to was a dismal failure. Nine of Pentacles, there she is. I said she hadn't turned up. There she is, Meghan Markle, in all her glory, but in the reverse. So whatever she's up to, whatever she was trying to achieve, failed in this instance. And I think it was her brilliant idea. Yes, we can get away with it. We can do this. And because I'm so important and so powerful and so illustrious, the Nine of Pentacles woman is very independent, very secure in herself, very accomplished, got everything she needs. She thought that she could get away with it, but not really, from what appears to have happened, but the cards will tell us. So it does seem to all have been her idea that this could happen, and they could sneak in and do this, and the United Nations would only discover on Netflix one fine day. Really, as I say, the mind boggles. So what was their goal with all of this? What were they up to? And well, they really are scraping the bottom of the barrel, seemingly, with all those wands in the reverse, the Nine of Wands in reverse. They are really struggling with their mission for Netflix. It's all fall down. When the Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, when the Nine of Wands is in the upright, of course, you are standing your ground, you are making your last stand, you've been through it, but you are battered but not bowed. When it's in the reverse, you give up. You really can't fight anymore. You let go. It's the give up card. I can't do it anymore. They are really struggling. And wands, of course, as I say, with tedious monotony, wands are the cards that depict media and publicity. And of course, we're talking about Netflix here, allegedly, that they were filming for whatever offerings they are trying to present to Netflix. And we're going to ask that as a final question of this reading. How is it all going? But they just don't have what it takes. They really are struggling, and they are struggling to the point of giving up to produce content that is interesting, to make themselves seem important. We've got two nines in reverse here, which is very interesting to me. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse and the Nine of Wands in reverse. And nines are, of course, the climax card. You're almost at the end. You're not quite at the end, but you're almost at the end. It's telling me that they are almost at the end of whatever it is they are trying to achieve, but not in a good way, in a very kind of failed way. And so let's see what was the energy leading up to this moment. What was happening in the past? Who was putting pressure on them? King of Wands in reverse. I have an idea that there was a somewhat annoyed media type sitting in the background. To my mind, someone at Netflix, ideas kind of person, King of Wands, ideas, media. Where is the goods? Where is the stuff we're going to be showing? We've paid you all this money. Well, we've pretended to pay you all this money, in my opinion, of course. Where is it? What have you produced so far? Very angry when the King of Wands is in the reverse. Not a nice energy at all. Angry man, telling them how useless they are and how they have failed, and they better get with it and they better produce the goods or else. Very much cracking the whip there, the King of Wands in reverse, and telling the Harkles, off you go, get on a plane, perhaps even providing the plane or organising it with his mates. Get on a plane, off you go to New York, come back with something in the can, so to speak. So off they went, all sheepish and trying their best, Trojan horse-like, to get into the United Nations with the wire and the lapel mic and the clipboard and the laptop, and trying to look important and trying to get some footage that would please the King of Wands. Did they succeed? What happened next at the United Nations? Ooh, they didn't succeed at all with the Magician in reverse. They did not manage to manifest this miracle. The magician is manifesting miracles when it's in the upright. And I'm getting the giggles here, and I'm sorry. It's been a long day, and the misfortunes of the Harkles sometimes do amuse. And we've had some quite unpleasant and somber readings lately, but this one is amusing me. Actually, when I see the magician in reverse, they didn't manage to accomplish their goal at all. And I'm sure that the King of Wands is even more furious with them now. And it does please me to know that there is someone in the background who is reading the riot act to them and telling them how useless and pathetic they are. And if they don't get their act together, they're going to be dumped by Netflix. And what a spectacular moment of downfall that would be for them, to be fired publicly by Netflix. How we wish that would happen. And yes, I know, nasty me, but as I said, it has been a long day, and this reading is providing some light relief for me, and so I'm grateful to the Harkles for that, eternally grateful to them for that. So let's see, were they kicked out of the United Nations? What happened at the United Nations? More specifically than that, really, because I think we can see that they didn't achieve their goal at all. How do the people at the United Nations feel about them now? What's the response, basically? Hierophant. And I think they were put in their place by the Hierophant, because a Hierophant is really organizations, if ever there was a card that represented the United Nations, well, apart from the World card, the obvious card. But there is a Hierophant, that's hierarchy, that is doing the right thing, that is status quo, do the right thing. And they weren't doing the right thing. Of course, they were sneaking around, and the cards told me that right at the beginning of this reading. And there they were stopped. And instead of a blessing that Pope-like figure in the Hierophant is almost giving them a telling off. It's quite interesting. Don't always get that energy off this card, but there is the telling off. You've been naughty and disrespecting us, and be good, behave yourself, and off you go, and don't come back in a hurry. So I don't think that they were endeared themselves to the people at the UN at all. And of course the Hierophant also is the royal family and all of that. So the people at the UN expected better from the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. They expected much, much better from him. They may not have expected anything good from the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This woman in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles, a greedy energy when she's in the reverse as well. Of course, at the bottom of this reading, greedy and grasping energy, all my opinion, of course. But we expect better from you, Prince Harry. So that's interesting. And this card, the 8th card of this reading, I have specifically asked Universe to tell me, because this wasn't the only moment that the Harkles were caught filming people. There must have been filming at the school in Harlem, because that was when Prince Harry was spotted wearing the wire, as far as I can remember, and please correct me if I'm wrong, a long time ago, and a lot has happened since then, both in the Harkles' lives and in my life too. But apparently there were people at that concert that the Harkles introduced, their double act, Meghan in that very expensive white dress that was rather mutton dressed as lamb. But apparently there were celebrities at that concert who were less than thrilled that Harry and Meghan were filming them secretly for Netflix. I would have been less than thrilled, and I can tell you that my lawyer would have, I would have had my lawyer on the phone straight away if that were me. And I discovered that Harry and Meghan were going around secretly filming me for behind the scenes footage and of their adventure in New York. It's appalling, an appalling invasion of privacy, and deserves all the comeback that it possibly can get. So I want to know, did celebrities complain? The Harkles even more alienated now in Hollywood, where lawyers involved, and Six of Pentacles in the reverse is taking more than you give to a situation. So it was supposed to be a charitable event, right? Remind everyone we are one world and all of that good stuff. Charity, Six of Pentacles is the charity card in the reverse. Harkles were there for their own benefit, for their own gain, for their own advancement, and certainly that would have annoyed people. It's not telling me lawyers, it's not telling me burnt bridges, it's not telling me shunning like I would have got from the Five of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, we've got one up from the Five of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, people are very aware that the Harkles are there for their own aggrandizement and not for the good of humanity as they claim. So people have seen right through them for their falseness and are not impressed with them. But as I say, I don't think lawyers have been sent instructions and filing whatevers in court at this point. No, none of that, but just disapproval. There's a lot of disapproval in this reading that I'm getting, from the Four of Wands in reverse to the Hierophant, to this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, the Seven of Wands in reverse, indefensible behavior, and of course the King of Wands, who's leading it all, who's the cause of this all in the past. The King of Wands in reverse, great disapproval, great disappointment, great rage at the Harkles and their incompetence generally. So, you promised us an interview with the Queen, you promised us all kinds of things, and I've bashed the camera, and I'm sorry for that if any of you are seasick as a result. But in my enthusiasm, waving my hands around, and let me stop doing that, and focus on the ninth card, which was the Harkles' hopes and fears for this trip to New York with all their all their gadgets. Their secret spy stuff, allegedly, that they were packed in their suitcases. And Ten of Pentacles, tons of money. They want tons of money, and they want to be important. They want to be looked at as if they are equivalent to the royal family, because the Ten of Pentacles is always the royal family. It's that lineage, that history, that future, that security, that prosperity, the castles, the abundance, all the good things. And the Harkles are hoping desperately that they can get some of that for themselves and some of that shine onto themselves, and outcome of this all. And the outcome specifically, not with the United Nations, we know they were chased out, shooed out, and didn't go well there. But outcome, as far as Netflix is concerned, were Netflix pleased with the footage that the Harkles brought back from New York to the King of Wands in reverse? How is it going with Netflix? Oh no. Not at all. When we get the Harry and Meghan card in reverse, Netflix is not pleased at all. And Harry and Meghan card, the Strength card, there she is, really wrestling with that poor lion. And Harry and Meghan, there they are. And in the reverse, weak, failed, not the power couple. For me, always a bit of a dependent energy that comes off the Strength card when it's in reverse, codependent energy, excuse me. But definitely they are not succeeding at whatever they're supposed to be doing. Major arcana, major fail. Came back with their tails between their legs with that card, with the Strength card in reverse. Did not come back in a cloud of glory. Came back, slunk home, rather abashed, rather shamefaced. And I bet that the King of Wands had a lot to say when they got back, and told him what they had done. Well, they didn't even have to tell him. He could just read about it all over the place because they were rumbled. Of course, they were rumbled straight away. They're so inept and so incompetent. And as this reading has yet again shown. So I hope you enjoyed that trip back to New York, and I have managed to ramble on for a very long time. I apologize to those of you who like to keep it short and sweet, but there it is. That was what the tarot wanted me to say. Well, that isn't really what the tarot wanted me to say, but that is what I said. And on that rather silly note, let me end this reading and put you all out of your misery, and I'll see you on the next one.